Alright guys, welcome again to another Pandora draft on Faeria, and this is a practice Pandora, so we are playing until 3 wins or 2 losses, and we have green, blue and red as our primary colors. Yellow is locked apparently, and we have the first pick. Here it is. I am thinking between the Hermit and the Sagami Warrior, and I don't know which is the correct choice. I'm used to playing Hermit, not so much with the Sagami. I'm going to give it a shot. Second pick, Hold the Line, another Hermit, a Triton Warrior, pretty good card. Ogre Battler, pretty good as well, even better now when Frogified is nerfed. Not a huge fan of the Underground boss, I prefer the smaller creature with combat that gains me 2 energy, Faeria, whatever it's called. Hold the Line, pretty cool card in my opinion. Going to pick a Triton, see what happens next, I guess. Or I can stay opening green. No, I like the Triton Warrior. Here, a Longhorn Yacht, recently buffed, got +1 health, used to be a 2/2. Pretty cool card, I used to like it a lot. Synergy with green, it gets buffs. What else? Caretaker, pretty cool card. Rubyfish, not a huge fan. Not huge fan of the Raccoon, and we already settled on green and blue on our first picks. I am not a huge fan going 3 colors in Pandora. Humble Vision is sort of a combat trick, sort of removal spell, kind of, I don't know. I think I'm going to pick the Yak, maybe? Yeah. Pick the Yak, I like that card. Ooh, a Gabriel enchantment. Is that, again, an option? Creature's attack becomes equal to its life. Any synergy? Very minimal. Not fan of the Glider, not fan of the Vine Wall. Boom Sprite is alright, Storm Spawn's kind of slow for Pandora in my opinion. It's interesting. It's between the Bloom Sprite and the Enchantment for me. I don't know, let's have 1 enchantment I guess. Ooh, Water Elemental. All the elementals are very good. In my opinion, just giving you an additional land is very powerful if you ask me. Safeguard, also pretty good spell, even better if we have big things like big green and red things. Picking the elemental for now. Steamforge, I don't think that's the type of deck that we have so far that wants Steamforge. Seems better in more aggressive decks, red, yellow maybe. Tiki Caretaker, pretty good. Village Elder, it's alright. Not a fan of the Raccoon, as I already mentioned. Shifting Tide, it's a pretty cool spell, but I like the Caretaker better. Daring Adventure, very interesting card, very interesting. I might consider it, especially seeing 2 red cards down here. Let's see what we have on the hunger side of things. Voice of Hunger, God Hunter. Jump can't attack, can only attack gods, can't harvest, Faeria. That's alright, I guess. Destroy all adjacent friendly creatures. This gains attack and life equal to their combined life. I don't know. I don't like transferring all of my eggs in one basket. Very vulnerable to removal, especially in Pandora where you have things like the Scythe and Magnus Rose. I'm torn between the God Hunter and the Daring Adventurer. If we were slightly touching red, I would definitely consider these two cards, but we definitely aren't whenever a friendly creature has Faeria. Yeah, this is not even very effective effect in Pandora. When Pandora opens, the Faeria wells are turned off, so its effect practically doesn't apply at that stage of the Pandora game. Um, mm, Excuse me for a second, guys. And I'm back. Just my phone. Going to pick up later. What do we have? Daring Adventurer or God Hunter? Daring Adventurer is just a more reliable fighter, in my opinion. Darkstalker, useful with events. Obviously, we have only one so far, not considering it. Falcon Dive, it's alright. Leaping Fugu. It's not bad. I already mentioned I don't like the Storm Spawn and Faeria. Tiki Caretaker, another one, it's alright. Maybe another one, just a first one of these, perhaps? I mean, it gets a 5/6 jump for 3 mana. Pretty good. I think I want Threat. Alright. Here, Royal Judge, very interesting card, very flexible. This guy has a slight synergy with the Tiki Caretaker. If we had 2 Caretakers, I'm definitely going to pick the Unlikely Hero probably. What else do we have? Illusion of Grandeur. For 7 mana, that's a lot. And 2 blue. Charge 2. Whenever you summon a creature that costs 1 or less, this gains attack and life equal to that creature, while in your hand or deck. We don't have anything that actually costs 1 or less. Yeah, these two are out of the question. The Wave Crasher is interesting. At the end of your turn and the end of your opponent's turn, set all players' Faeria to 3. So it's a very interesting card. I kinda dig it. I also really like the Royal Judge. I think I want to go for the Judge, but we are lacking in the late game stuff. Tough. We don't have anything in the way of removal, so having access to punishment could be good. Alright, I'm taking. Important to mention that both Safeguard and Punishment both cost 3 Faeria, so we are paying for that cost in the Royal Judge's price, but we are paying additional 2 mana for a 1/1 and having the flexibility to choose on. That sounds fair, I guess. Ancient Beastmaster, I love this card, but we have absolutely zero synergy with it so far. Not a fan of the Cypher's Father. Freedom Fighter, it's alright. I think Sagami Warrior has more stats. It's much cheaper. It has dash. We are losing the haste, but I think that's worth it for the difference in Faeria price. Alright, we got to our first, what's that? Pandora card? Whatever it's called. Bloodstone Golem, create 1 in each well. Faeria is harvested, deal 1 damage to your opponent. That's good stats for the mana, and the effect is interesting. Ocarina is honestly too expensive and too situational for my liking. The Dancing Blade is very interesting card, even though a little bit situational. It can have a very huge impact immediately on the board. It has slight synergy with the Yak, I guess. I can protect it with the Safeguard, help it stay for longer on the board. Same with the Tiki Caretaker. Ooh, synergy with the Gabriel enchantment. That's very interesting. Alright. Actually, when I saw the Gabriel enchantment, I got hooked on the Dancing Blade. Going to take that now. Firebomb, very strong card. Prophet of Tides, move this creature's land twice. That's actually a very powerful effect, and considering that I'm not a huge fan of the rest of these three cards on the top lane, Prophet of Tides it is. Next, Farm Boy, Sylvan Warrior, Ruby Fish, Triton Warrior, and the red card. That's not going to be taken. 4-4 jump, pretty good. Oops, almost made a misclick on the Flame Spitter. Definitely don't want that now. Living Willow, not Widow, and Grizzly both have synergy with the Gabriel enchantment. Not a fan of the Triton Diver. It's very maneuverable, but in the late game, there aren't just enough spaces to move it freely as much as in the early game. And I think we have the early game kind of covered with the Sagami Warriors, the Tiki Caretakers, the Yak. Yeah, it's between the Grizzly and the Willow, and considering the fact that the Willow has Taunt and it's much cheaper, it costs the green. But that should be alright. We are not very green intensive so far, actually. Maybe I consider the... Nah, it's very vulnerable to a few spells in yellow and a little bit in blue in terms of vulnerability. I prefer the cheaper card. Always prefer the cheaper card. Ooh, that's very interesting pick. Another Fugu. Another Bloom Sprite. We didn't pick the previous one. Gabriel Warden, very cool card. I love this card. Also the Disciple. But I already talked how good the elementals are. Going to pick an elemental and be happy with it. Yeah, definitely going to be happy with it. Ooh, another interesting choice. Not considering the red cards right now. But alright, the Gabriel Commander is out of the question. We don't have any cards that cost 7 or higher. Triton Trainer, very cool. It practically gets me this buff without the jump because it already supports jump creatures. It supports 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. The Triton Trainer supports 4 cards. That's pretty good, in my opinion. This is pretty good because it supports... it actually supports more than... It supports 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. Alright. Picking the Triton. And I'm happy with it. Red cards, not interested. Move a land, deal 1 damage to this structure. Never played with that card actually, and never played against it also, I think. It's a weird card. The move, it moves a land. I thought it moved a creature. Well, that's even more bad than I thought it was before. A creature gains +3, gain 3 life, gaining lives. Cool. It's especially good if we have taunt creatures. We don't have all that many. The Warrior is alright, I think. I'm going to try it. Or maybe? Between the Grace and Warrior, which one do you prefer more? We don't have all that many spells so far, so maybe we take Grace. Seems good with all the jump creatures we have, they have very poor health generally. Yeah, health upgrade on jump creatures seems alright. Another jump creature. A water elemental, another one. The queen's favorite got recently buffed. It used to be 2 attack, 2 health creature, now it has 3 health. It still doesn't seem all that good in my opinion. I don't know what has to happen for it to be good. Don't like it. Taking the enchantment. Sagami, Soulbound Sagami, also pretty good. Tyrannax, not very exciting. Snowstorm Lancer, we just don't have all that many events to make use of that very cool effect. The Water Elemental is alright. Gabriel Archon, Art of the Question, Safeguard, don't need it already, get that covered in the Royal Judge. Yeah, that's a cool card. Ancient Herald makes the Dancing Blade cheaper, I guess. Makes the Willow cheaper. Those things are not that important, but having access to card advantage is, I think, important. Red cards, cool red cards. Balloon Fish is an interesting card. I haven't played with it so far. Give a random green creature in your hand +5/+5. That's a very powerful effect, but it's kind of situational. If it dies while you don't have a green creature in your hand, it's kind of waste. And so far we don't have all that many green creatures anyway, so the Sagami Gravecaller is very cool. One of my favorite cards in the game. But we are very light on green, and it's a heavy green card. It requires 3 forests on the board. I think we're going to be mainly focused on the blue side of our deck, even though, yeah, definitely. I just want to try the Balloon Fish, get a feel for it. Red cards, they're powerful. Whenever you're dealt damage, gain 1. Oh, that doesn't feel good. Egg of Wonder. The first time you draw a non-legendary creature, Egg of Wonder becomes a copy of it. That's not cool. We don't want to draw like so many things, like the Royal Judge, or I don't know. It's good when you have big creatures in your deck. The Mirror Phantasm, just very powerful. We can transform a lot of our weaker stuff, like the Lore Thief or the Caretaker. Maybe if this is about to die, this guy can be transformed into a 5/5. That would be very cool. Yeah, alright. Oh, what's this? Another Karina. That's unusual. A repeat in Pandora cards. I still think it's too expensive, even though our dex is relatively cheap. The World's Tier, that's very powerful sometimes. Its control, destroy creature, control gains 1 equal to its cost. And draws 2 cards. We actually have synergy with the Royal Judge and the Dead's Desire. Because we will reclaim the mana we initially spent for this guy. We're going to still get the spell for free. What else could be? That's desired. We can also use it on big opponents things, but that's not very. That's nor here nor there. Between the World's Tier and Death's Desire, I'm not sure what I want. I haven't played with neither of these 3 cards, honestly. Considering the synergy that we had, well, this also has synergy with all of our jump cards because they have reach and can easily access the opponent's god. Damn. Going to try Death's Desire this time. It's a cheap card. I love cheap cards, and that's alright. Another War Thief, a second opportunity to pick out the line. Cutthroat Bandit, very weak on health. This is not going to activate with our deck. The Gabriel Warden could be impactful. I hope. I'm not sure. I mean, the protection's alright. Yeah, let's try it. Let's have some big things. Don't want the Dreamweaver, very heavy on blue, and we're kind of split down the middle between blue and the other stuff that we have. Add an Explore card to your hand, that's not very important for us. Ruin's Presence is kind of cool, in my opinion. Most green creatures are cool and powerful, and giving them +6/+6 just insane. +5 blast. This is actually cool with a bunch of stuff that we have. We can use it on the Adventurer, the Royal Judge, some of the more expensive things, I guess, like the Gabriel Warden, the Phantasm. Triton Banquet to your hand. This is also very cool. I'm going to try a Chief. I like the Chief. I like the Mystic Beast. I like the Octopus. I like the Battletoads. I like the Triton Banquet. Don't like the Sunken Tower. But we have a very difficult choice right here. And I'm not sure what we have to pick. I like the flexibility of this card just so very much. Going to try it. A Deepwood Stalker! One of my favorite cards in the game. Another Royal Judge and another Triton Chief. Going to pick the Stalker. It has a very slight synergy with the Yak and not much else. But overall, even without the synergy that it has with the Yak, it's still a pretty cool card in my opinion. Definitely one of my favorites. Here, Seedling, it's alright. Tiki Chieftain, grants me Taunt. We don't have much in the way of Taunt. So far moved this creature's land twice. I'm not sure I want another one of these guys. Ancient Herald, it's alright. It's going to reduce the cost of the Dancing Blade. The Phantasm, the Warden gets price reduction. And this. Do we want to grant our creatures taunt? A little bit, maybe? I mean, taunt's always good. We have a little bit. 1, 2, 3. We definitely don't have a lot in the way of taunt. Alright, let's try it. A Gabriel Enchantress, additional synergy with the Dancing Blade, and a bunch of our other stuff like the Willow. Another Triton Trainer, pretty cool. Sanctuary, whenever you harvest Faeria, gain +1 health. Not cool in Pandora, where the Faeria wells get deactivated once Pandora is open. Court Jester, I really like this card, but the Enchantress just have very cool synergy with a few of our very important cards, I think. Alright. What's that? Cypher's Wrath, Path Paradise, Wandering Monk. We don't have much in the way of card draw. I mean, just 2 cards that provide us with additional card draw. I think, yeah, not cool. The Spell World, pretty cool. The Mystic Beast, also pretty cool. We are very creature heavy deck so far. I think I'm going to go for a Mystic Beast. Spell Swirl just card advantage, but too unpredictable. You might get trash. Here, Healing Song, not a fan of this card, not interested in any red cards. The Seed Sower is very similar to the Elemental cards, but it's fatter. And its effect is a random effect. I like the Water Elemental more. It has jump, it's cheaper, it can place the lake wherever it wants. Here, red cards, another Sanctuary. Already explained why I don't like Sanctuary in the Pandora game mode. Going to pick, already mentioned, I didn't like the Sunken Tower. We might be forced actually to try it out because the Tyrian Golem is too heavy on green. It's just too heavy. And I don't want to work for all of these forests in order to summon a Tyrian Golem in Pandora. Again, very vulnerable card to removal. By the time you can summon it, probably your opponent has a way of dealing with it anyway. Not necessarily, but the tower is cheap, it provides flexibility. I'm not sure if you move the land, if it moves the creature that's on the land as well, so it's something we're going to try to figure out. Here I think I want the Fugu. A second Fugu will be interesting because we already have a lot of elementals. 4 elementals, that's kind of unusual. It might actually make the Fugu quite plausible. And we have the last Pandora card. Very difficult choice in my opinion. The Magnus Rose and the Dark Crystal are insanely powerful both. The Chalice from the Palace is interesting. Give +6/+6 randomly split among friendly creatures. It's just too much of an unpredictable effect in my opinion. It might doesn't go your way. This is a little. Those 2 cards are situational. This is good if your opponent has one big thing in the late game and it's their path to victory and you just kill them and win from there. The Dark Crystal, same things, but good against a big army of small creatures. The Magnus Rose is both a removal and kind of a summon for a creature on your side. You remove the opponent's creature and take it for yourself. I just can't argue with that. It's very powerful. And that's the draft. Let's talk 1 minute about the deck. Let's review it. The Yak, our first pick, we love it. The Fish is something that's been very powerful when played against me, and I'm looking forward to playing it myself. Daring Adventurer, very interesting card when your opponent doesn't think about it and clusters their creatures in one location. You surprise them with the Adventurer. Road Judge, a card that I generally like and looking forward to using the flexibility it provides. Gas Grace, not a huge fan of this card, but we're going to see how it performs. The Tiki Chieftain, yeah, alright. These guys are alright. The Stalker, looking forward for its performance. Looking forward to cheating the Living Willow with the Gabriel enchantment and that other card that we picked specifically for it, the Enchantress. Generally, looks like a pretty cool deck. I'm looking forward to play with it. I'll try to record some games with it for you guys. Thank you for watching the draft. Stick around for the games. And this is the end of the draft portion. Goodbye.